Tonight, Anambra State government reiterates commitment to reviving Igbo culture. Citizens call for government's intervention on hike of commodities. ECOWAS reaffirms resolve to intensify efforts in humanitarian and youth education. Explosion hits Iraqi base housing pro-Iranian militia. Before the news in detail, here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let us give him maximum support for the task ahead. Good evening and glad to have you on the news tonight. My name is Maureen Stone Enojoke. Anambra State Ministry of Culture, Entertainment and Tourism has organized a roundtable discussion with key stakeholders to revive and promote Igbo culture in Anambra State. The event, which took place at the ministry's conference room at Jerome Dodge's State Secretariat, Oka, gathered cultural leaders and other key figures from various sectors to discuss strategies for preserving and enhancing the unique traditions and heritage of the Igbo people. Correspondent Emmanuel Chibata completes the story.
Discussion focused on several key areas, including the preservation of the Igbo language, promoting traditional customs and rituals, and encouraging the younger generation to embrace their cultural identity. In his speech, the Commissioner for Culture and Entertainment and Tourism, Comrade Don Onyenji, expressed concern that modernity has influenced the social life and values of the Igbo people, stating that the meeting aimed to address the social problems and challenges that have arisen as a result. Comrade Onyenji also noted that the governor is committed to promoting the core values that shape the behavior, attitude, and commitment of the healthy living of the Igbo people, while emphasizing that the primary goal of the event was to adopt a collaborative approach to reviving and preserving Igbo culture.
The aim of the meeting is to solve social problems and challenges we have in our society, especially with regard to the core values for which we are known as Igbo, as in the Anambra. We believe and hope that in a very short time we will congregate in a larger framework.
In his contributions, the permanent secretary of the ministry, Mr. Jerome Iloku, the traditional ruler of the Ukwala community, Igwe Joseph Ajodo, and the youth president, Anambra State Association of Town Union, Mr. Ken Okoli, emphasized the importance of safeguarding the rich history and values of the Igbo people as they form a vital part of Anambra State's cultural fabric.
You better understand the importance of value system. We look forward to working with the ministry to achieving available objectives for.
On their part, the Director, Arts and Culture of the Ministry, Mrs. Choma Ifediora, the Ministry's consultant, Chief Marcel Manafa, and the HOD, Citizens' Rights Anambra State, Barrister Judith Mokwe, agreed on the need to involve educational institutions, cultural organizations, and the media to increase awareness and appreciation of Igbo traditions.
I know to only that one is larger some of the things in
Also in her contributions, the director of Alkebulam Production, Mrs. Chinyere Ozokomma, discussed the role of the entertainment industry in promoting Igbo culture, highlighting the potential of film, music, and theater to reach a wide audience and inspiring a renewed interest in Igbo tradition.
Anambra State Deputy Governor Dr. Nyeka Bezim has described the first governor of the state, the late Chief Chukwemeka Pius Ezefe, as a man of integrity and one who laid an indelible foundation for the state. Government House correspondent Emmanuel Okonkwo reports that Deputy Governor Bezim was speaking during the commendation service organized by the Anambra State government at the International Convention Center, Oka, in honor of the deceased. His report.
Ezefe, popularly known as Okwadike, who hailed from Ibuku in Agwata local government area of Anambra State, ruled the state as governor from the year 1992 to 1993 when the military interrupted his leadership. He died at the age of 85. Deputy Governor Bezim, who explained that the late Ezefe was a man of many parts who never joked with the well-being of his subjects, Ndibo and Nigeria in general, said that his death was a big loss to the state and entire Africa. Dr. Bezim pointed out that the former governor left legacies to leaders at all levels in terms of people-oriented leadership style, maintenance of law and order, commitment to the development of all sectors of the economy, among others, and prayed God to repose his soul. In their various tributes to the deceased, the President Ohaneze Ndigbo Worldwide, Anambra State, Prince Emeka Udodeme, and the member representing Orumba South at the State House of Assembly, Honorable Emmanuel Nwafo, noted that the late former Anambra governor was an Igbo man to the core who defended the Igbo race against marginalization and promoted Igbo cause at all costs, rating his leadership style during his regime in the state high.
Okwadike remains a hero of Igbo land. He left a legacy, and a lot of people have said it all. The whole of Nigeria was here today in honor of a great man, a man that we never relent, that we don't want to miss, but God has said is all.
The Deputy Chief of Staff to Governor Chukwuma Soludo and Chief of Staff to the National Chairman of APGA, Mr. Ugochukwu Obiefuna, a stakeholder in Agulu community who worked under the administration of the deceased, Chief Daniel Obuefi, said that late Chief Eziife was a straightforward person who significantly contributed to the growth and development of Anambra State, encouraging leaders of this dispensation to emulate the legacies he left behind, including honesty and humility.
He lived well. It's something, and if you look back at history, he's an elder statesman who has integrity as part of his core values.
For the wife of the Igbo warlord, late Ikemba Odimegu Ojukwu, Mrs. Bianca Ojukwu, late Chief Eziife was committed to a just, fair, and equitable Nigeria, as well as lived for the well-being and emancipation of Ndi Igbo, a cause she said that most Igbo leaders in this dispensation are no more interested in. Mrs. Ojukwu asked present Igbo leaders to wake up to the responsibility of championing the cause of their tribe and making sure that the rights of their people are protected in the country as done by their heroes past.
The late Okwadike was a man who called a spade a spade. He was deeply committed also to the welfare of the Igbo people. I would enjoin Igbo leaders to follow his footsteps and to do as he has done, and to display greater commitment to the well-being, to the welfare, and to the future of the Igbo race.
From ICC in Oka, I am Emmanuel Okonkwo, reporting for ABS News.
A cross-section of Nigerians has called on the government at all levels to save citizens from hunger-induced death as prices of commodities keep going high as the days go by. They appealed while speaking with the ABS correspondent Queen Animogo during a market survey carried out at Ekoka Market in Oka South local government area. Her reports.
The staple food section of the market, it was gathered that a bag of local rice known as Ugwausa, which was previously sold at 18,000 naira, now sells at 50,000 naira, while foreign rice like Pretty Lady, previously sold at 30,000 naira, now sells at 70,000 naira. A bag of beans, previously sold 80,000 naira, depending on the species, is now selling between 145,000 and 160,000 naira, with a cup selling in the range of 260, 270, and 300 naira, while a bag of pigeon peas, commonly known as fio, previously sold between 135,000 and 140,000 naira, is now selling between 190 naira and 200,000 naira, with a cup selling at 400 naira. ABS also gathered that 100 pieces of small size of yams, previously sold at 70,000 naira or 75,000 naira, now sells at 110,000 naira or 115,000 naira, with one small size selling at 1,000 naira and medium size selling at 3,000 naira. A penta of gari is now selling at 3,000 naira, with a cup at 200 naira. At the provision and beverage section of the Ekoka market, the Indomie noodles super pack, which increased to 20,000 naira, is now selling at 12,000 naira, but was previously sold between 5,000 naira and 6,000 naira, while 800 grams of Milo is now selling at 4,500 naira. The list is endless, with no section of the economy left out of the price increase. Speaking to the ABS, a civil servant, Mr. Chibundo Umadi, Nwochi attributed the situation to the removal of fuel subsidies without providing measures to mitigate the effects, noting that the situation has made life in Nigeria a nightmare, and called on the government to do more to put smiles on the faces of Nigerians. Some traders like Mrs. Caroline Onuebu, Mrs. Ndidi Nwochi, Mrs. Chinwendu Okafo, and Mrs. Ekutos Mmadu all lamented how the high cost of commodities is drastically affecting the level of customer patronage of their services, calling for urgent government intervention.
Like before, ilanye ga for size nda. Before size ya na ihe na egote bia wo 75,000. But kita na no 110, 115. By 100 yeah. Before 75 size yeah. 75, 80. But kita is 100, 110.
Others, including Mrs. Uzamaka Nwachukwu, Mr. Ikunne Ogezue, Mr. Chinyere Nwafo, and Mr. Phil Ugochukwu, asked the government to reduce the cost of petrol and gas, increase support to farmers this year, and increase the salaries of civil servants, as they and the poor masses are the worst hit in this situation.
Government become na Mari na ahụ nyere na anyị aka. Enwekwana ihe anyị na-emezi.
Biko kene ewetuneta aka n'ive a na-ele ahịa ka people nwe ike na-ego ka ndị poor masses nwe ike na-ego kwa afịa. Aka na ọ na-afịa mmemme na bịa kwụsị ego na mango wafuo adị few na-ego nụ. Onye na-agwa gọọmenti.
Queen Anigbogo reporting for ABS News.
Anambra State government has noticed that despite the warnings given to owners of illegal structures to remove them, these notices have been largely disregarded. The Commissioner for Information, Mr. Paul Musu, in a statement said the Anambra State government is the proponent of law and order and therefore will not condone any flagrant violation of legitimate directives given in the interest of public good. He pointed out that government has repeatedly stated that these illegal structures distort and completely mangle the state city's original master plan, which has resulted in the blocking of drainages and water channels, causing flooding and sometimes loss of lives. The Commissioner stressed that this can no longer be tolerated as the rainy season is just around the corner, saying, let it be known, therefore, that as the government has directed individuals, companies, market and park leaders to commence intensive desilting of the gutters and drainages, it will soon start a sustained campaign to remove illegal structures. Based on this, the government is advising owners of such structures to remove them on their own so that they can carefully evacuate their belongings. But where they ignore government notices and the structures are removed by the government, the owner or owners of such structures, according to the Commissioner, will bear the cost of the logistics of the removal, and the owner of the structure will be given a stipulated time to pay, after which the property or goods within would be disposed to settle the cost. He went on to say that the government is not unmindful of the fact that some of these illegal structures might have been erected by the owners out of ignorance of the law or due to economic circumstances or lack of knowledge of the negative consequences of their actions to the environment and human lives. But now that they know, it is only proper they remove the structures by themselves to avoid the harsh consequences that may trail their negligence to act promptly. The inauguration ceremony, which also featured the launch of a campaign tagged You Need to Know, was heralded with a prayer rally at the market praying ground of the market. Staff reporter Emegina Sadebe, who was there for ABS, reports that event attracted various Soludo support group delegates from Oka, Onitsha North and South Council area. The reports.
In his sermon during the prayer rally, the preacher, Pastor Abara Obani, told the traders to accept Christ in their lives and businesses, challenging them to have it at the back of their minds that after their struggle at the market, they must surely be blessed by God.
Only concerned with God, you are still in your problem, you are still in your trouble, you are still in your punishments and judgment at the wrath of God that awaits the wicked.
In his inaugural speech, the State Chief of Protocol and Deputy Chief of Staff, Honorable Chinedu Nwoye, said the aim of the inauguration and the launch of You Need to Know campaign in Ochanja Central Market was to get the traders and Indian Anambra both in the hinterland and in diaspora acquainted with the good works of Governor Chukwuma Soludo in the state, saying that some detractors have been peddling fake news in the social media against the governor. Honorable Nwoye, who enumerated a series of developmental strides of the governor, commended the traders for recognizing Professor Soludo as their only governor, advising them to take home the message of "You Need to Know" campaign, while urging them to pursue and embrace peace with all men.
Why did we use Okwesiri Kemara? We noticed that the opposition and the enemies of Anambra State are capitalizing on the vulnerability of the people that are not fully aware. So they catch in on that and go and peddle fake news. So we thought it wise that we need to educate the public. They need to know. So even you people, the press, you need to know. The media need to know. Not just the ones he's doing in your community or your locality. You need to know what's happening in other communities.
Speaking to the ABS in an interview, one of the traders, who is also an executive member of the caretaker committee of the market, Mr. Okudili Anibogu, expressed joy and gratitude to God for the success of the inauguration ceremony, commending the governor for his developmental strides in the state, saying that Professor Soludo has been supportive to their market as they can now bring in their goods into the market due to good road access. The chairman, caretaker committee, Ochanja Central Market Onitsha, Chief Bonaventure Moore, said the market should be counted lucky for being the first in the state to inaugurate its Soludo support group after that of Asmata, applauding Governor Soludo for his visionary leadership and pledged the support of Ochanja Central Market traders to his administration.
Actually support here in everything. Support why those people standing here in na governor and now I never can represent here. So here they liable to propagate this information about the good deeds of the governor.
High point of the event was solidarity song for the governor, inauguration proper, inspection of the market by the Deputy Chief of Staff, Honorable Nwoye, and his entourage, among others.
The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, says it has expended over $26 million in the humanitarian sector for displaced people, migration, floods, and various forms of disaster from 2023 to date. The ECOWAS Commissioner on Human Development and Social Affairs, Professor Fatou Sarr, disclosed this while interacting with journalists in Abuja on the efforts of the Department of Human Development and Social Affairs in humanitarian and youth programs. Abuja correspondent Princess Ikwejide has more.
Commissioner said ECOWAS humanitarian action never stops, no matter the situation, because humanitarian actions constitute an important concern owing to multiple crises and population displacement, adding that even Guinea, under sanctions, received nearly $600,000 in January 2024 for a fire at an oil depot and floods. She said this year alone, ECOWAS has released $9 million for internally displaced persons, refugees, and asylum seekers for all member states and for the communities that welcome them within the region. According to the commissioner, in 2023, ECOWAS released the sum of $12.6 million for floods and nutrition for 4 million people out of a total of 8.5 million people affected. The commissioner noted that ECOWAS also considers the youth to be a cross-cutting issue that affects all the other departments. Hence, its youth center has 3 key areas of intervention, including volunteer programs, sports, and economic integration of young people. Professor Fatou disclosed that ECOWAS is looking forward to our youth conference in May 2024 to take stock of the current situation and identify the changes and ruptures that have led to the general malaise observed in the sub-region.
We will have televised programs, debates through radio, which will enable people in the region to really focus and pay attention to the challenges facing the young people. At the end of the process, ECOWAS meetings will be organized in a member state. I'm thinking of the Gambia, which would enable a political strategy and a roadmap to be drawn.
In Abuja, Princess Ekwi Ajide reporting.
A military base in Iraq housing a pro-Iranian militia has been damaged in an explosion, killing 1 and wounding 8, security officials there have said. Iraq's military reported to drones or fighter jets in the area before or during the blast, and the U.S. said it was not involved. Meanwhile, the militia, the Popular Mobilization Forces, has been blamed on the attack. It comes amidst heightened tensions between Israel and Iran. The long-running confrontation between the rival countries has moved into a new phase with a presumed Israeli attack carried out near the Iranian city of Isfahan earlier. The attack was an apparent response to a major drone and missile attack that Tehran launched on Israel 6 days earlier. The Iranian action was in retaliation for an earlier strike on senior Iranian military commanders in the Syrian capital, Damascus, widely believed to have been carried out by Israel. The International Chess Federation, FIDE, has commended Nigerian's Tunde Onakoya for setting a new Guinness World Record GWR for the longest chess marathon. Onakoya played with an American chess champion, Sean Martinez, for 58 hours continuously without losing a game at the New York City's Times Square, USA. By this, it cancelled the 2018 record of 56 hours, 9 minutes, and 37 seconds set by Norwegians Harvard Hawk Flatable and Joe Freckenstad. Vice President of FIDE, Olalekon Adeyemi, told newsmen in Ibadan that Onakoya 29 had been consistent over the years with his support for chess and the Nigerian kids on the streets. He said that he was not surprised about this feat because he has been committed to what he's doing. He added that when he started chess in the slum, he was part of the movement and has shown tremendous commitment over the years to the cause of taking children off the streets with chess. Remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page. Follow us at Anambra Broadcasting Service. Subscribe to our YouTube at ABS Television Oka, on X at ABS Radio TV, and on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can also log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. And now a recap of the main points before we go. Anambra State Government has reiterated commitment to reviving Igbo culture. Citizens has called for government intervention on hike of commodities. ECOWAS has reaffirmed resolve to intensify efforts in humanitarian and youth education. Explosion has hit Iraqi-based housing pro-Iranian militia. Here is a special message before we go. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let us give him maximum support for the task ahead. And that does it on the news for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Maureen Stone Enujoke. Good night.